and welcome back to the cabin. I'm going to make a vegetable soup, but this vegetable soup is going to go to another level. I'm adding a Hubbard squash. If anybody's familiar with this beautiful Hubbard squash, you'll know that it makes a fabulous soup. It's in the pumpkin family, but it has a bit of a flavor of its own. And when you put it in a vegetable soup, it just adds that extra flavor. And then at the end, we're going to let it cool down and we're going to puree it. It's a bit of a long process, this soup, but worth it. So in the end, we're going to end up with a beautiful orangey colored squash pureed soup. And we will then reheat it on low and add a bit of cream. And it's one of my favorite fall and winter soups. It's going to be delicious. So let's get started, get that pan going. I put some celery and some good water to firm them up a bit. So they're starting to look a little sad. We'll get this onion and some garlic and celery and get the vegetable soup. So this is the kind of recipe you add your flavors. You like to make vegetable soup a certain way. You like certain flavors. Make that. Make it how you make your vegetable soup. It's you and your family that'll be eating it, and it should be the flavors that you and your family enjoy. So I've made a bit of an onion mess here. Let's get rid of that. This beautiful music for relaxation with definite tones of India or even Indonesia. All right, so we've got these, just this one small onion. It doesn't have to be a huge onion. And we're going to cut it all up. If you want to make it chunkier, go ahead. We're going to puree this down later at the end anyway. All right. So we've got the onion in there. It's a really big pan. This is my biggest squash soup pot that I have. So it's going to take a bit to fill it. And let's do 3 good pieces of celery that I've had soaking in some nice clean water. And we're just going to cut those up. The reason I put my knuckles up like that is that's what the knife hits, not my fingers. Rubs on there, and I'm using a bit of a wider blade today. It is also a Tamagotchi in a series that I have. I really enjoy these knives. The blades are quite thin, and I sharpen them with a steel, and they sharpen quite nicely. Okay, so celery, onions. I need some lighting. Where's my lighting? Okay, there's some extra lighting. I wanted to show how different bay leaves are. Okay, not all bay leaves are the same. So this package of bay leaves is from a global grocer, and a lot of this comes from India. So these are bay leaves. I've seen them even bigger. I've bought packages where they're huge. You got to fold them to get them in. And then these are the bay leaves we get in Canada. sad, pathetic. A lot of them are broken. I've been buying these for decades. So I find this couple of nice bay leaves in there, and once you find a good spice, you find this and you can't compare them. And the aroma coming out of that bay. So if you have a global grocer or you have a market that is based in Indian cooking from India, I suggest you go and look at their spice section and you might be impressed. I talk a lot about my spice mix that I make myself, and I always talk about the garam masala, which just means a mix, and cumin and turmeric and all kinds of things I like to. Those are all Asian spices, mainly India, and it's really nice to go outside your comfort zone and try some different flavors and spices. Try it with rice. That's the easiest way to start off with spice. This is a bit of cumin that's been ground up, and I'm gonna add a good teaspoon and a half there. And a small amount of garlic. Oh, I can hear the family is home from work. And I added the garlic last. This is just minced garlic. I would prefer fresh and freshly cut. I just don't have any on hand. So, the smell's coming out of there already. And those beautiful spices. Oh, it's wonderful. Now I'm going to turn that down. I don't want that to burn. And I'm going to add some mixed oil that has garlic and herbs. I don't want it to get too dry and burn. Now at this point I'm going to need this jug. I need to wash my hands. That oil always leaks out. And I'm going to add, I don't know, let's look at what it says on this container. I never measure, so I am really enjoying that relaxing music. So we're looking at 100 milliliters, which is what? Almost a liter. And pretty soon I'm going to add it. This is just slightly browning, mixing in with the cumin and the other spices. I'm going to add at this point a little bit of garam masala. Which is a spice blend. Now I like to use this garam masala in dips. The trick is to add a little bit of sugar or honey with it because it can be a little bit bitter. I wish you could see the actual mix of spice in there. And the aromas, oh goodness. Now, if I wanted to take this right to an Indian dish, maybe East Indian, I'm trying to be specific, but it's difficult. I would add turmeric and whole cumin and fennel. There would be many more spices that go in there. But we're just doing a really nice vegetable soup. So there's a liter. And that's not going to be enough, but that's okay. That's a good start. Oh, those beautiful bay leaves. Let me see if I can get you a peek at it. Oh, yes, it looks very good. Smells even better. So there's a good start to our vegetable soup. We will be adding more water, definitely. Now, recently we had cauliflower. It was fried with spices, and there were some pieces that were left over. I ended up boiling all the little pieces. So at some point we're going to throw that in the soup. Nice cauliflower. So along with the squash, cauliflower, celery, onions, garlic, and spice. So far, this is a really nice soup coming along. So I'm going to start to get into this squash, and I'm going to try really hard to not get injured. Oh, wonderful. All right, so there's that beautiful squash. Now, the easiest way I find with a squash is to try and cut it in smaller sections, and then it'll be much easier to peel. Look at that beautiful squash. Now, there's not a lot of flesh here. There really isn't. This is more seeds than anything, and I'm going to actually save some of those seeds. They'll be planted in this year's garden, and we'll be harvesting again in the fall. So you've got the idea, and when you come back, I'll have this peeled, clean, cut, and boiling in our soup with the cauliflower. And that's going to be a long boil. I'll probably do a very short video of it all together and the colors. And then at some point later, when it's cooled off, I'll come back for the end version of the taste test. And we'll probably do some of the pureeing at the same time, and you can see how I do that. So thanks for joining me. Thanks for subscribing. And with the magic of editing, I'll be right back with the next steps of the soup here at the little kitchen at the cabin. Okay, we've got this soup boiling at a hard boil, and I think it's pretty well done. We're going to take out the bay leaves, the two big beautiful bay leaves from India. Oh, it smells good in this kitchen. And we're going to let this cool off. And when we come back, we're going to begin pureeing it, and then we'll rewarm it slightly and add a little bit of cream, and then it'll be good to eat. It's a bit of a process, but it'll be worth it. So we'll see you in a bit with the pureeing process. Stay tuned. Oh, you've joined us just in time. We're just going to finish off the last puree. And that's it. Now, I held the lid slightly open on the edge so it would breathe because it's hot, otherwise it'd blow the lid right off. If any of you have seen one of my earlier cooking videos with the exploding squash, I learned my lesson with hot things. So steaming hot, we don't want to blow the lid off anything and get burnt. So I've got a smaller pot. Let's see if I can get this off. Come on. Okay. It's heavy. It's leaking. I've got a smaller pot here now, and we're just lightly warming it back up. We don't want to burn it. We don't want the heat on too high. And then we're going to add a little bit of that cream. Now, we removed the bay leaves, of course, before we pureed. We didn't want to be trying to grind those up. You cook with them and then most of the flavor has gone into the soup itself. So yes, I can take this minute to thank all of my subscribers and my viewers. We're in the last week of February. I'll probably post this in a day or two. And I'm moving anything that's political, global political, to my other channel, which is called Pangea's Path. Now, I've had that channel for about 16 years, and I used to post things about politics, but we're a little freer and we're able to share more now. So I think I'm going to go back to doing that and see how it goes. And this channel will keep its original content, which was us going out into the forest safely as often as we can, enjoying nature, the cooking shows, and of course readings at the table and open conversations. So I hope you stay with us. And for anybody that still wants that political content from, I guess, our channel's point of view, you can go to Pangea's Path. And there's a map. The map is the logo. Anyway, feel free to go there and subscribe and support us also on that channel. I wouldn't mind one little bit. So I'm going to add a bit of this cream. Probably, that was a half a cup, so probably about 1/4 to 1/3 of a cup. And just lightly stir that in. So it's getting that marbly look. And that's it. We've got wisps of heat coming off the surface of the soup. So we know it's nice and warm. We can shut it off. And at this point, we're ready for serving. So we'll get a nice ladle. And we will ladle up. Oh, that's a beautiful creamy soup with all those beautiful spices from India and some regular spices as well, of course. All right, that is wonderful. Let's give that edge a little wipe. Clean that up. And there we have it. Now, for anyone that might like to have a dollop of sour cream, cream goes very well with a pureed soup. So there we have it. That is vegetable squash pureed soup. Now you can freeze this. You can put it in the fridge for probably 2-3 days. And I like to eat it fresh. This will be gone by tonight or tomorrow for lunch. And it's got a beautiful creaminess. And I just cut up a little bit of whole grain sourdough. I didn't make it. I got it at the local store who gets it from a bakery. So let's give it a try. Oh my goodness. Oh, I wish we had taste-o-vision and you could taste this. This is the perfect kind of soup. We've got light rain going on right now. Most of the snow is gone, except up in the higher hills and the mountains. Perfect soup on a rainy day. And some good quality local bread. Delicious. I'm enjoying that. Well, thank you for joining us here at the little cabin, the little kitchen at the cabin, for vegetable and squash puree soup. Now you could use quite a number of squash. If you use pumpkin, it'll be a lot more orange colored. But this turned out just fabulous. Look at that. Oh. And like I said, and most of it will be gone tonight. And the rest for lunch tomorrow. Thank you, all my subscribers and viewers. I'm going to call the family for dinner. Remember to ring that bell for subscribers to get notified of the next new video. Pretty well every day I have a new video, so you don't really need to, but go ahead and ring the bell if you want. We're enjoying the spring coming and the weather changing and all that comes with that. And as always, be kind to nature. Be kind to each other, and go safely into the forest as often as you can. Oh yeah, that's delicious. I better call the family for dinner.